up everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Gunsmith's Food and Travel Vlog. I've been making so many of these that I don't even know which episode this is. I think it's episode 8, but I'm sure you saw that in the title. So today I'm going to be talking about some pretty cool restaurants in Toronto. We're going to be reviewing 3 restaurants today: Fresh, Colaba Junction, and Hogtown Vegan. So Fresh is basically a vegetarian mainstay. If you're from Toronto and if you're vegetarian, or if you know anyone who's vegetarian, chances are you've eaten at Fresh. They have several locations. Last I checked they had 4 locations, and the one at Eglinton is one of my favorites, so that's the one I checked out. So this is located near Yonge and Eglinton, which is a very busy intersection, and this area attracts a lot of young professionals. And there's definitely a bit of a hipster vibe once you go into Fresh. They even have some knobs on the walls where you can hang your backpacks. And being a wannabe hipster myself, of course I carry a backpack, so I hung my backpack on the knob. One of the first items that we had was the quinoa onion rings with chipotle mayo. The quinoa onion rings were super crunchy, and they picked the freshest onions to make this. They also picked the biggest onions they could find because these onion rings were just ginormous. And since there was quinoa in the batter, it really adds a lot to the crunch as well. So this was a filling, appetizing, and crunchy start to our meal. The chipotle mayo is also a wonderful dip. It's got a smoky and creamy taste, and it's a little bit tangy as well, so I really recommend this dip too. After that, I challenged myself by ordering a super cleanse. Now, a super cleanse is a green juice, and these guys have an amazing menu of green drinks and smoothies and what they call elixirs. So there's some very cool and healthy drinks on their menu. So I checked out the super cleanse, and this thing has kale, parsley, celery, and spinach. So it's basically as healthy as you can get in a drink, but they also added a little bit of apple, lemon, and grapefruit to it just to add a little bit of sour taste so you can actually drink down this green mixture. The first sip I had, I just tasted this frothy green grass-like texture in my mouth. It was a little bit disgusting, but as I kept drinking it, it was alright, and I did finish it. I gotta say, this thing just made me feel like I was cleansing myself for sure. So do check out one of their green drinks or smoothies because these guys do it really well. Then for the entrees, I got the Transformer salad. Now this is a thing of beauty, man. If you are looking for a reason to go vegetarian, just go have this Transformer salad at Fresh, and it will definitely at least 90% convince you to go vegetarian because it's so healthy, it's so filling, and so delicious. The presentation is quite amazing too because there's about 15 ingredients and they have them all separated out in the bowl, and it just looks beautiful. So what does this bowl actually have? Well, how about quinoa, chickpeas, azuki beans, edamame, marinated tofu, avocado, heirloom tomatoes, cucumber, and plus they've got a carrot miso dressing, a cashew scallion pate, and also something called sikil pak, which is a pumpkin seed spread from the Yucatan region in Mexico. Now those are a lot of exotic ingredients in one bowl. I can't even begin to describe it because each ingredient has a different taste. This bowl really personifies what Fresh is about. It's just extremely fresh and healthy, and they give you a massive bowl, and it costs something like $16, but it's worth it, and you can definitely share it with a friend as well. Now the next item we got was the full breakfast, and they have this available on their brunch menu on the weekends. This is made to resemble a full English breakfast. So instead of scrambled eggs, you've got scrambled tofu with some grilled spinach mixed in, home fries, baked beans, there's some ciabatta toast, and also some vegan sausage. The scrambled tofu did seem to have an egg-like texture, and it was creamy, but it was a little bit cold and a little bit on the salty side, so I wasn't too impressed by that. The baked beans were just fine. You know, you can get baked beans anywhere, so you can't really go wrong making that. Now the home fries, I had a bit of a problem with these because yeah, they were fried to perfection and they had just the right texture, but they were way too salty and they were served cold, and now you can't have fries like that. So we actually had to call our waitress and say, you guys call yourselves fresh, but the fries aren't even fresh, so what's going on with that? They were nice enough to get us some more fries, and those were just fine. But you know, if they're serving a full breakfast, then it should all come hot and it shouldn't be over salty. The vegan sausage was soy based and it had a good texture as well. It's a little bit chewy, but it was still tender. I'm not really sure the ciabatta bread went with the whole meal because it was a little bit thick, and I really like ciabatta bread when it comes to sandwiches, but with this meal, I don't know if it really fit. To finish things off, we got the carrot cake. Now these guys get their desserts from a bakery called Sweets from the Earth, which is also located in Toronto. And their carrot cake is just beautiful. You know, it's super moist. Their icing is very, very creamy and delicious. And the cake just has a great texture to it. So I would really recommend their desserts, but you can also get Sweets from the Earth products from your local Whole Foods, and you know, you might get a better deal on the prices that way. My overall verdict on Fresh is if you're a vegetarian, you absolutely have to eat here. You know, it's a no-brainer. Their salads are absolutely wonderful, so you do want to try their salads. You do want to try their juices and smoothies, and this is a great place and it's here to stay. Next, we checked out Hogtown Vegan. This was my wife and I plus a friend. Small, cozy restaurant. It's located near Bloor and Dufferin, and this is an older neighborhood which has lots of cafes, bars, and vintage shops. Now, this place also has a hipster vibe. The waiters are dressed very casual. They've got posters of records on the walls, and these records are way back from the 70s, like Frank Zappa, Marvin Gaye, and it really sets the tone for a hipster type of eatery. This place is set to prove that vegans can have comfort food, and that's the whole mandate. To start things off, I had old-time Jamaican ginger beer. This ginger beer is incredibly strong. I mean, you can really taste the ginger, and your eyes might even get watery. So if you're a fan of ginger beer, check it out. For the entree, my friend got the unchicken and waffles. Now these guys are known for this dish. So unchicken is basically a soy-based meatless chicken. It's got a meaty flavor and it's incredibly filling, and they deep fry it to the point that it's just so crispy. I gotta say, it was pretty tender and it wasn't chewy or rough at all as you might expect from vegan food. It also came with corn waffles, and it had a spicy syrup on it, so I suspect it was just maple syrup with a little bit of cayenne peppers added. So this was just a very filling and very unhealthy entree, and this place is known for the unchicken and waffles, so do check it out. Now for my entree, I got the tortilla salad. This came with some black beans, tomatoes, some guac and chips, tortillas. There was what they call a fried tofu egg as well. To top it off, they had some sour cream as well. What did I think of this entree? Well, I thought it was pretty decent. It didn't blow me away at all, but there were a lot of flavors going on, and the tortillas were nice and soft. The fried tofu egg was creamy and delicious. I thought it was a bit of a modest entree, and it's not going to surprise anyone, so I would say that maybe skip this entree and order some of their more adventurous things that you might not find at other places. I did order some collard greens with this entree as well, and this was my first time having collard greens. Obviously, collard greens are a big part of Southern American cuisine. Since I don't really have that kind of cuisine often, this was a new experience for me, and I found them to be a little bit pungent but just very delicious as well. And of course very healthy. So I think I want to try out some more Southern comfort food pretty soon. So in my next vlog, you might find me checking out some Cajun or some Southern restaurant. For her entree, my wife got the PB and banana French toast. This was possibly the richest entree I've ever had. It was 2 pieces of French toast, deep fried, and plus it had peanut butter, it had bananas, and it had some tofu bacon as well. This entree will make you feel a slight ache in your chest area because you're consuming so many calories in each bite that you're really gonna feel a punch. So I don't recommend it unless you're super hungry, unless you're ready for that kind of experience, but this French toast is basically lethal. It's so delicious, it's sweet, it's crispy, and it's just gonna fill you right up. This is the only thing you need to eat in a particular day, and then you're good. Also, it came with home fries, and these home fries were nice. To finish things off, we had the fried apple pie, and it's also deep fried. It was drizzled with some sugar on top, and it came with some soy vanilla ice cream. Now, since I'm not completely vegan, since I'm actually vegetarian and I also still have dairy products, I've never been a big fan of soy ice cream because I find it has a little bit of a bitter or weird aftertaste to it. So I didn't like the soy ice cream here either, but the fried apple pie was just wonderful. Overall, Hogtown Vegan is a great place. I found it a little bit comparable to Doomy's, a restaurant I reviewed in the first episode of this vlog, but the only difference is here they're inspired more by Southern American cuisine, and the whole emphasis is on deep frying everything. So do check out Hogtown Vegan if you are a vegetarian or you're interested in vegetarianism, and you'll be surprised to see that a lot of their entrees do have that meaty texture like their unchicken and waffles. It'll give you some of the comforts that meat eaters have without actually eating meat. Now the last restaurant that I'm going to review is called Colaba Junction. This restaurant recently opened up in downtown Toronto and it's located near Bayan College, which makes it a walking distance from both University of Toronto and Ryerson University. And this particular area doesn't really have much else. You know, there's a lot of office buildings. I think they're really catering to the student and office crowd to come and have their lunch. So it's really a quick dining experience. So Colaba is a region in Mumbai, also known as Bombay. This place is just aiming to be an authentic Mumbai style cafeteria. The funny thing is they're just down the street from Bombay Street Food, which is another place going for the exact same vibe. Colaba Junction is a lot more fast food oriented, I would say. The best thing about the presentation here is that they actually serve some of their food in newspapers, which will remind you of the authentic Indian touch if you are from India. And some of their other appetizers come in cardboard bowls. So really they're just going for a down to earth and chilled out vibe. So to start things off, we had the masala chai, and you know, this is something you have to have at pretty much any Indian restaurant that has it. This tea just makes you hungry and makes you want to just have some fried food with it, you know. So next we got the samosa chaat. Now I'm sure every one of you out there has had samosas in your lifetime, so I don't need to explain them. If you haven't, you need to go out and get some samosas right now. But this samosa chaat is basically samosas, plus it's got some mint chutney, it's got some yogurt, it's got onions. This was actually an amazing appetizer because the samosa crust was super crispy and it was also light. I would say these are some of the best samosas I've had, so check out their samosa chaat for sure. Next we got the pav bhaji fondue. It's one of my favorite dishes in the whole world, and it's basically a spicy potato stew with lots of vegetables thrown in and lots of butter. They've got a little candle at the bottom so it stays nice and hot. And the buns, now I gotta talk about these buns, man. These buns were just beautiful. I know that sounds kind of naughty, but you know, these were some of the best buns. They had it topped with some save, which is basically an Indian snack, and they were just super soft and they just sort of fell apart in your mouth, and they just went perfectly with the bhaji as well. So I thought this was a great entree, so if you haven't had pav bhaji, this is a great place to try it out. Next we got a sandwich called the Bombay Bachelors. So this sandwich has some sliced veggies, it has some spicy fried and mashed potatoes, and it has some more mint chutney, and it comes topped with the same save Indian snack as well. I thought it was delicious. You know, the potatoes were well cooked and a little bit crispy, quite spicy as well, and the mint chutney is a perfect condiment. You don't even need any ketchup or mayo, you know, when you got the mint chutney on it. And the save on top just makes the whole thing so much more crunchy as well. Next up we got the Bollywood veg thali. Now this thing was very colorful and I loved the presentation with a crescent shaped plate, and it had 4 kinds of curries. So you had your chana masala, you had your yellow split lentil soup, the yogurt based curry, and there was also a 4th dish which I wasn't sure what it was, but it tasted like it had some paneer in it, it had some peppers, and it was a spinach based sauce. They had a lot of accompaniments, like they had some cucumbers, pickles, yogurt, and there was also a dessert. It also came with some naan bread, some basmati rice, and some papadum. So this is basically a complete Indian meal, so I highly recommend it. But if you're here just for the fusion experience, perhaps this is not the item you should get. There's not much surprising about it, but it's just a delicious and very well made veg thali. Now let's talk about one of the most interesting dishes I've tried so far in 2017. It's called the paneer lasagna. Now you might know from some of my vlogs that I'm a huge fan of paneer, Indian cottage cheese. I have it at least a few times a week. It's full of protein, it's very filling. So the paneer lasagna basically looks like a lasagna, but it's quite deceptive. Instead of your lasagna noodles, it's actually got thick slabs of paneer and some eggplant, and it's got this very rich makhani sauce, which is like a butter chicken sauce. They actually switched things up by adding some goji berries to the sauce as well. I thought the sauce had a smoky taste to it. Maybe it was from the eggplants. You can actually eat the sauce just with a naan. That's how good it was. The paneer was just tender and succulent, and overall this dish just really worked for me big time. Now just when you thought that that was the most creative item, I've got another one I want to tell you about. It's called the Godiva samosa. These guys once again blew me away with this dessert. This looks like just a regular samosa, but instead of your usual peas and potato filling, it's got a melted Godiva truffle inside. It's served in a mango sauce and something called rubri. Now rubri is the condensed milk based dessert which also has spices and nuts. So it's a very rich dessert that people eat in some parts of India. This has the amazing crust like their regular samosas have. So as soon as you bite into it, the Godiva truffle just sort of explodes in your mouth, and you mix it up with the mango sauce and the rubri. It's definitely definitely on the sweet and rich side, so if you don't like too much sugar, perhaps you won't enjoy it, but me, you know, I can't have enough sugar when I'm having dessert, so I thought it was just amazing and I would definitely get it again. To wrap things up, I would say Colaba Junction is a very interesting experiment, but it works. They've got a cool decor, they've got lots of authentic photographs from Mumbai all over the walls. They've also got some vibrant colors, interesting fonts, and cool lighting all over. So it nails the cafeteria vibe, and plus it adds a bit of character as well. So if you're downtown Toronto, do check out Colaba Junction if you have any interest in Indian food, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So that's it for my vlog, guys. I hope you're liking these food reviews that I've been putting out. If you have any recommendations for other restaurants in Toronto that I should check out, do let me know. I'll try pretty much anything that's not filled with meat, you know what I'm saying? Give me some feedback too, you know, let me know how I can get better at these, or if I'm already so amazing that it just blew your mind, you know, I definitely want to hear about that. So make sure you guys subscribe to The Gunsmith, and I've got lots of diverse content coming your way. Every Sunday I drop a new video, so I'll see you guys next Sunday, and thanks for checking out my video. Peace.